Do you ever feel like a sham in your wellness practice, like a total imposter? Like you're out there guiding and helping others to peace, to calm, to balance, and you're out there going, who am I to be doing this? In the background, you have all this self-doubt. You are thinking, I'm not qualified to do this because I don't have it all together myself. Yes, I have the tools. Yes, I have the certification, but I'm kind of a mess on my own. I'm stressed out. That is wholly normal. You are not alone, let me tell you. About every wellness professional I've ever encountered has experienced the same thing because we all do experience stress. That's a very normal part of life. We just happen to be equipped in another way that other people may not be. But that doesn't mean we don't have to step back and employ our own tools or even other tools sometimes to get back into the space that is recalibrated. It does not make you an imposter simply because you experience stress and at times, maybe even overwhelming amounts of it. Imposter syndrome is not a signal that you are unqualified. It's actually a sign of something deeper within you. And I want to talk today about how we can overcome this perpetual feeling of imposter syndrome and really get back to where you are passionate and confident in leading others in wellness. So stick with me. We're going to hash this out today. Hey, I'm Jennifer Sack, and I help wellness pros who feel disconnected due to chronic tension and stuck in self-doubt reconnect to their peace, passion, and confidence so that they can go out there and lead in their role as an authentic leader, thrive in their practice, and finally create the impact and freedom that they desire. Now, I totally remember so many times showing up to teach on the mat as a yoga instructor and feeling like an imposter, feeling like, you know what, just an hour ago, I was totally yelling at my kids. I was frazzled. I was doubting if I could even lead the class today. I was fumbling over my notes. And then I'm supposed to show up and lead this beautifully aligned class, remember all these beautiful quotes and the sequence that I'm about to teach. And I remember so many times feeling the weight of perfection, the weight of knowing that back in the day when I was heavily into substance abuse, knowing that I was actually probably still hungover from the night before, and yet I was showing up talking about wellness to these people and taking care of yourself. And I was trashing my body, trashing my mind with substances. And I knew because there was a disconnect between how I was showing up and what I was presenting and who I was in the background, all due to stress, trying to alleviate stress. And there is a lot of this that goes on, a lot of shame and self-doubt that crumbles into a beautiful little ball of imposter syndrome. And there's a lot of grace that we need to give ourselves. And we do know how to get back and get reconnected, but we don't always practice those things. We're on the go, we're busy, we're caught up in the momentum of life. We are too tired to sometimes even do the things that we know are good for us. So we opt for the things that are just distractions, scrolling on your phone, some Netflix, substance abuse, what have you to do anything but deal with the underlying issue, which is your chronic tension, which then is leading to you feeling like you're not equipped to go out there and help others with their issues when it comes to helping them find peace and balance. Well, I want you to know this doesn't disqualify you. This is totally normal. There is a lot of hidden weight that wellness pros carry for this very reason. And it can tend to make you question everything when you are in those times of being a little off track, right? Or maybe it's gone on for quite some time and you're like, I don't remember the last time I felt good. And now I'm showing up and I feel this total disconnect because I'm practicing or preaching something I'm not practicing and I'm not feeling good about that. I'm not aligned right now. But here's the truth I learned. The real cause of imposter syndrome is not that you're not good enough. It's perfectionism showing up, it's overthinking, it is chronic stress, and it's all tricking you into thinking that you're failing. It shows up when you feel like you're not calm enough, or you're not spiritual enough, or you're not knowledgeable enough, and that you don't deserve to lead. And then the ego comes and chirps in and says things like, you're not ready, you're not enough, you're not good enough, who do you think you are? And that voice that's whispering is not the truth. The truth is, your clients, they don't need perfection. They can't relate to that by any means. In fact, it might even create a wall between you and them. What they need is you to lead them authentically. And that comes, my friends, via presence in whatever state that is. Here's a few key takeaways for you if you're feeling like you are stuck in imposter syndrome, doubting yourself, and really just wanting to get back to feeling passionate and confident in your teaching. I want you to remember that imposter syndrome is really just a sign that you care. Like you really care about doing well and about leading others and about creating that impact for them that is transformational. Maybe it's simply about giving them space to be with themselves, holding a container for them. You care so much that you are then dumping perfectionism on top of it. You are overthinking all of these things. So if you can just notice that it's well intended, that you are well intended, that you are equipped, that you are enough, and just show up from that space of like, I just really want to give. I'm just here to give and help others. It can take a ton of that pressure off you. Stop thinking about the way you look or sound, or if you can memorize the perfect spiritual quotes. Let all that go and get back to the pure intention that you had in the beginning when you started in this line of work. And that's to help others. You're here to serve others. And when you can take all that off of you, a ton of pressure alleviates because it's no longer about you at all. It's not about you, what you did this morning, last week, your reputation from 5 years ago. It's not a fact that you are still dealing with stress on your own. It's not about you. It's about you serving others. That's what you're here to do. And you care. You care enough. That's why you have this doubt and this imposter syndrome, but you can let that all go. Get back to the core of what you're here to do. Get back to your core values of what's important to you. And I guarantee at the top of the list is helping others. Another takeaway I'd love to share is the fact that you really don't need to be ready and perfect to be ready to lead others. There's a very common procrastination method we all have in getting to our business. And this is really for maybe new business owners, but it could also be for those that have been doing this a while and are starting to feel the disconnect. You don't have to be in a perfect space to lead. You don't have to fix everything in your life to be able to go out there and help others. You just need to really practice your own practices and be present. That's really the key to it all. And the more you can share some of the practices that you are employing, the more connected the clients are going to feel to you, the more relatable you become. It takes actually this total disconnect between you and them away because they're no longer having to put you on this perch and go, well, there you've got it all together. I'll never be there, but I'm going to keep coming because hopefully I can, suck a little of that juice into my life. No, instead they'll be like, okay, she deals with this too. This is what she does. It seems to be helping, but she's also sharing how she's subject to all these things. I can really relate to her. Some of the best classes I've ever been to are ones where the leader shared something they were going through and they didn't, disrupt a whole class with a 10-minute monologue about their issues and get too personal. But they did mention something going on and how they were applying their practices to that, how philosophy of what they were teaching, perhaps, or a certain modality or practice or technique was lending to that and how it was helping them move through that. So it wasn't like, oh, this person's fixed. It's like, this is how this person shows up, honest and raw, dealing with life like we all are. And this is how they apply the practices to then move through this. They're not perfect. And that makes it relatable because then a client is going to go, oh, so you mean I cannot be perfect? I can show up with issues and you're going to show me how to move through it. And I know that you can. See, now you've built a trust issue or a trust link, not an issue. It's a trust, bond with them of them going, okay, so this person really knows their stuff because they're using it. It's working for them. And now I can see from their leadership how I can apply this to my life and also move through this. They are going to relate to you on such a deeper level when they can see that you are also working through things. That is going to attract clients, is going to retain clients. And it takes the pressure off of you from thinking that you have to have it all together before you can go out there and lead others. You don't. Show up as you are, put to practice your practices, show them, lead them, be the example of how to move through these things. That is the farthest thing from imposter that you could ever be. That is true, authentic leadership. And that brings me right into our third takeaway, and that is that people are actually drawn to your realness, not your perfection. And I think this is 100% an aspect of what social media has created is what I call the Zen facade. Everybody's showing up in these beautiful filtered pictures, only sharing the beautiful things. Um, all these quotes laid out beautifully. And I love a good inspirational quote, don't get me wrong, but it really sometimes sets this unattainable goal and a standard that makes people feel less than, like they could never be that. And when you show up as real, they are almost breathing a sigh of relief. Their guard goes down. They feel safe with you. They feel like they can relate to you. They feel like they're allowed to be as they are, and they don't have to try and put on this Zen facade of their own to hold a candle to yours. It's this place of safety. And if you're holding a container for people where they need to be able to heal, they need to feel safe. They need to be able to be as is comfortably. And by showing up as real, that is going to really lend to creating that container for them, which is going to only help them move through whatever transformation or healing that you are there to help them with. So your authenticity actually builds authority and creates a ton of trust and impact for them. So you've got to make sure that you're not trying to uphold this Zen facade. Doesn't mean you're blowing in there like the biggest stress case in the world. I have been to some classes before where I got more stressed as an attendee because the teacher blew in so stressed out. And I'm not saying that it's okay to do that. You need to learn how to ground yourself and to be present so that you can show up in a space that is nurturing and calm for others to be in. But that doesn't mean you have to fake it. It doesn't mean you have to pretend there's not things going on. It doesn't mean you can't share, man, this happened, but here's how I'm going to move through it. And I know it's going to work because it works for me and it will work for you too. That's what they can relate to. That's what they can take away from. And that's how you can really start to work with clients in a way that makes them feel like getting better and healing and transformation is attainable. And you're the one to take them there. If you want to dive into this deeper and you really want to release that imposter syndrome, I created a free PDF called Align Your Life with Your Teaching. And it's really going to help you bridge the gap between how you live and how you lead so that you can show up as that confident and authentic teacher. Grab that. The link is in the description below. And let's just recap. Remember, imposter syndrome just means you care. It means that you really do want to go out there and help others. So take the pressure and the spotlight off yourself, put it back on why you're showing up in the first place, and you're going to feel much better. You are equipped, you are worthy, you are enough. Also, you don't need to fix everything before you go out there and lead. Just do your practices while and maybe even share about it. Because the third thing is when you are real, your authority grows. People are drawn to that. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Remember, you are ready for this. You are equipped for this. It's okay if you're dealing with things. Just put your practices to use. Stop ignoring your own self care. Bring that to the forefront so that you can share with others how you do work through these things. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for perfection, some Zen facade teacher out there. They're looking for someone who knows how to use the tools. That's what they want. All right, that's it for this episode. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Don't forget to grab that free PDF in the description. It's going to help you so much. And until then, wishing you more peace, more presence, and confidence as you go out there and lead others to wellness.